Hi guys, so in this video I'll be showing you how to create your jogger's waistband. Okay, welcome back to my channel. So I'll go ahead to first measure the width of my band, and for the tutorial I'll be using 3.5 width because I'll be adding 1 inch elastic. So I measured my width, which is 3.5, and then I'll go ahead to measure the round circumference of my waist. I'll start from the center front, measure it all the way to the center back, and it gave us 25.5. So this is one part of this trouser, which if you measure the both side, it will be 25.5 this side and 25.5 this side, which means 25.5 plus 25.5 will give us 51. So the total round circumference of this waist is 51. So I'll go ahead to now create my waistband. So remember, our total circumference of the waist gave us 51. So this waistband is on fold. I folded it, which means I'm marking 25.5. all right, because I folded it. So when I open it, it will give me 51 plus my ½ inch for the sewing allowance. So this is my ½ inch. So I'll go ahead to notch that ½ inch so that I can indicate when I'm sewing it that this is where I will start sewing. The next part is very crucial in creating your jogger's waistband, and I'm going to show you how to create the loop. Now I'm going to open this up, and then from this point I will sew all the way. I'm going to indicate using my pen. Right on this part, this is the center of our band. This part, that line, is the center. From this center, right, we measured it and it is 1.5. From this center now is 1.5. So one part is 1.5, the other part is 1.5. So for here, I will mark ½ inch, which will be closed, ½ inch, which will be open, and then the remaining ½ inch, which will be closed. What it simply means is from this part, the upper part, I'm going to sew all the way, stop here, and start from here again and sew down. Okay, I'm going to go on my machine, sew it, and show you. So holding the two together, I'm going to go and join. Now I'm done joining. Here is open, you could see. So this is where your jogger's rope will pass through. The next thing I'm going to do is to open iron, and then march down. I'm going to sew this down. So this, at the end of the day, this is how it's going to come out. Iron again. Remember, in our class we iron and we notch. Iron carefully because it's very important. So I'll go ahead to notch. This notching will guide me greatly when I'm adding my elastic. Please make sure that you notch your band. Now I'm going to show you. This is 1 inch elastic. So for this 3.5 band, I'm going to be using 1 inch elastic. The next thing is to show you how to measure the right amount of elastic to add in your band. Now remember that the total waist circumference is 51. When it's on fold, it gives us 25.5. So what do you do? How do you measure the right amount of band you are going to add? You first of all minus 8 inches. Everything I'm doing is on fold, which means that 8 inches means 16. Okay, so this is the first step. You mark 8 inches on your band, and then you fold your elastic. You start from the other end. So this is the first example. I'm going to show you the second example. So when you start from the edge, that place that you mark, that is it, you cut. But this is the easy way. But the more accurate way to get it is remove 8 inches, which means 8 inches is 16. Okay, that means remove 51 minus 16. This is simply what I'm doing. So here we have 25.5 folded, meaning is unfold. 25.5 plus 25.5 will give us 51. When we minus 8 unfolded means 8 plus 8, which is 16. Okay, so simply what I'm saying is 51 minus 16 will give us 35. So what you are looking for is 35, but then you're going to add +1 as your sewing allowance, what you will use to close your allowance. So what we are looking for in total is 36. So 36 inches of elastic. I hope this is very understanding, like you understand it very well. So now I've marked 36 on my elastic, and I'm going to use half to close. I'm going to go on my machine and show you how to smoothly close on your elastic. This is very simple. Your total waist minus by 8, that is 16. That's 51 minus 16, giving us 35 plus sewing allowance 1. That is it. At the end of the day, we have 35. I hope you understand. It's very simple. You can as well go back, watch it again so that you understand what I mean. Now I'm going to show you how to now join. When you're joining, this is very, very important. Take your time, especially if you're a beginner. Smoothing in your elastic. Make sure that as you're sewing, you don't sew on your elastic. Okay, you will see how I will make sure that I push in my elastic and then sew using 1/2 inch. Okay, gradually take your time. This thing, you need to take your time. And then this is where the notching is very important. While you're doing this, the notching, make sure that the notching match, because that is what will guide you. Your notching will guide you greatly when you're doing this part. At the end of the day, once you're done doing this part, you bring in your trouser and then you fix. As you're fixing to, you see how I'm stretching the band just to fit in to the trouser round circumference. If you do it smoothly and patiently, you are going to get it. It's very simple because you measured it accurately and it will fit in accurately. So you stretch your band to fit in on the waist. All right, at the end of the day, you go and weave. So I've weaved and it's looking very neat. The next thing I'm going to do now is to hold down my elastic so that it doesn't twist inside. I'm going to come to my stitch and reduce it a little, make it to be loose. So I've reduced it. No, don't make it too loose, just a little loose. Now I'm going to go ahead, arranging the edge of my foot to be on that line, and then I'm going to hold down gently. As you're stretching your waist, you're sewing. So you stretch your waistline and then you stretch your band and then you sew. And I'm done on the first part. I'm going to come down here, making sure that my foot is on this line. Okay, and then I'm going to still repeat the same thing I did on the upper part, making sure that my foot is on that line. Right, this gives you an accuracy and makes your work very neat. So I'm going to stretch. When I stretch, I'll sew, and then I'll make sure that I remove this part, lay it down very well so that it doesn't interrupt into my sewing. So I stretch and then I sew. It's very simple. I'm done doing this. When you stretch it, is going to give you 51, but when you leave it and measure, it's going to give you 35. If you stretch, it's giving you 51. If you leave it, it's going to give you 35. I'll iron that, and the next thing I'm going to do is to add my joggers rope using my safety pin. This is very simple. I believe everybody can do this, so but you can still watch to see how I was able to achieve it. So it's very simple, using your elastic, your safety pin, and then you pass your rope, your joggers rope. While I'm done passing my joggers rope, I'm going to set it very well and then lock in the edge of my rope using the joggers ring. You can buy this in the market. It's very, very affordable. If anybody is selling joggers rope, they also sell this. Then at this point, you can use your mouth to wet this part and then fix it in. Tight it very well. Make sure you knot very well, okay, and then trim off the rough part at the tip. Then you could just see what I'm doing and then close the ring. Do the next thing on the other part, and voila, this is how you do your joggers waistband. Very easy. Let me know in the comment section what you think. If you have any question or you want me to do a video on anything, you can just let me know. Bye.